You have to be the best and never give up.
When I get up on stage in front of people, all I can think about is, what if they laugh at me? You, man, you're fearless. I want to feel that too.
I don't care. I'll do it.
You know, there are good movies and there are bad movies, and then there are the movies that become good by being unbelievably bad. In that third category is a film from 2003 called The Room. It's a bona fide cult hit that is now being revisited in what you just saw there, a little bit of the comedy, called The Disaster Artist. So does it live up to its disastrous billing? That's what we're going to find out from Eli this morning. Nice to see you. I've been away on a bunch of Fridays, so good to see you today. Now listen, true confessions.
Yeah.
I've never seen The Room.
Okay.
I've never heard of The Room. So we have to start at the very beginning here.
This is similar to Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, I've seen that.
It's one of those movies that you have to go in a theater, probably late at night, being inebriated might help. And people do things. For The Room, they throw spoons and footballs.
Really?
They're yelling out lines. Because the movie is so authentically horrible that you just, like, the crowd goes mad and you enjoy it together. So let's bring you back. That is the real deal, The Room. This is a movie starring and directed by Tommy Wiseau. Greg Sestero plays Mark. Tommy is the main star. He looks like Gene Simmons. He sounds like Count Chocula. Everything in this movie, from his dyed black hair to the ridiculous music, the seemingly endless lovemaking scenes, the production values, garish, awful. But let me share this with you. Here is a little taste of The Real Room.
You're part of my life. You are everything. I could not go on without you, Lisa.
You're scaring me.
You are lying. I never hit you. You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
That is some acting, ladies and gentlemen. And so, Tommy, who directed this, who sunk $6 million into this movie, is so convinced it's going to be the next big thing, he makes sure that it stays in theaters for weeks and weeks so that it can qualify for the Oscars. And that's when it starts to become this kind of cult phenomenon. Eventually, there's a book written called The Disaster Artist about the making of the worst bad movie ever. James Franco reads this book, becomes obsessed, decides to direct this movie and also play Tommy himself.
So that's all true up until that point.
True.
That's the backstory. So then how does this behind the scenes then turn into a comedy that is arriving in theaters today?
It's actually a really sweet movie about Hollywood's beautiful losers, about all the other people who come to Hollywood to become the next Brando, to become the next Jennifer Lawrence, and just don't quite make it. And so the movie starts centering around Dave Franco as Greg. Greg is this painfully average actor. He is so normal. The movie that inspired him to get into the business was Home Alone. That's what inspired him. But there you see Tommy speaking to the real Judd Apatow. Tommy and Greg are trying to make it in the business. Judd Apatow shoots this guy down, says, you know, it's 1 in a million. You are not the one. You are never going to make it. So now they're at a low point. Let's watch a clip from The Disaster Artist.
This town, Greg. They don't want me.
Wish we could just make our own movie.
That great idea. So there's this guy, Johnny, a true American hero, to be played by me. He has it all. Good luck, many friends, and also maybe Johnny is vampire. We'll see.
So there is James Franco as Tommy, and Tommy is now writing the script that he thinks is going to be the next Streetcar Named Desire, but we know otherwise.
Oh my gosh. So do you have to have seen The Room? I mean, could I go to see this and appreciate it for its own merits?
I think you could.
Okay.
But if you watched The Room first,
right,
you would appreciate it even more, because it is littered with little Easter eggs, little nods to Room devotees to show you why they do all these strange things. Why are they always throwing footballs and trying to explain some of that nonsense? But there is something bigger than that, which you don't need to see The Room to appreciate, and that is really this bond. This movie is about a bromance between Greg and Tommy. Tommy took Greg under his wing, and then, you know, there was kind of a codependent relationship as Greg was basically actually getting more successful and Tommy was getting jealous, and you see that became part of the room experience. But there's something else that's even more interesting, and that is James Franco becoming Tommy Wiseau. Now, this is a guy who's so horrible, but he's so authentically bad, and in order to become Tommy, Franco transformed himself. Let me show you a clip of just how much he nailed that transformation. Take a look.
I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark. Oh, hi, Mark.
From the rhythm, from the pauses, every single moment is right there. I mean, no one knows where Tommy Wiseau is from. He says New Orleans, maybe Europe, we don't know. He is an enigma, but Franco has given us, frankly, an Oscar-worthy transformation.
No.
Some people are saying that, and I would not be surprised because, that's what Franco does, and Franco is He's, as an artist, he's always been obsessed with artifice. And it's interesting to become Tommy, someone who is so original, he had to give us this picture-perfect imitation. So in the end, this beautiful tribute to Hollywood's little people. This is The Disaster Artist. It is a blast. 4 stars.
4 stars.
4 stars.
No disaster at all.
No
and am I getting
disaster.
this right? Tommy wrote a film that he thought was going to win an Oscar, and James Franco could win an Oscar?
It could. He might have finally... And then Tommy will probably take credit and say, I planned it all that way.